Let me introduce myself. I'm Ming. I'm pleased to represent IWomen to share some insights as well as our business profile. So let me have a little brief time about what IWomen is, because it can be a little bit misleading because IWomen itself doesn't sell spells any word. So we are a team of professionals, expert in our own field, such as corporate secretarial, banking, accounting and tax, trade finance in particular, facility management and all that. We started about 2 years ago, and we currently have a sizable number of clients from Norway, UK, Kazakhstan, Hong Kong, and others. So we are also aiming to have your members on board. So that will be very exciting and interesting. Okay. So our main goal, actually, our main goal is to support and empower entrepreneurs and enterprises, and also to provide them some networking opportunities with access to ASEAN. And the ASEAN market is quite big. And since Singapore is so near to China, and because we do have our population is almost 75% majority Chinese. So majority of us can speak Mandarin. So it's a very two-way kind of communication. So it's good that we have the members, and then we can actually connect them if they are looking into that market. So now let me tell you a little bit about Singapore. I mean, maybe most of our members already know about Singapore, but let me just highlight a little bit. We are the most tiniest island in Southeast Asia. We are so small that we are like 750 square kilometers. Can you imagine? I think Mumbai is like how many times bigger than us?
Yes, yes.
And not that, we have only 6 million people, of which we have 3 million are native Singaporeans and about 3 million are permanent residents. So our permanent residents actually make up like a lot of foreign nationals from UK, from the Western countries, from China, from India, from wherever the places is 193 countries. I think many of them are here.
Right. Great.
Yeah. So Singapore has been very fortunate for the past 50 to 60 years. We have built up to a stage of where we are actually the maritime and financial hub. So being a tiny island, that is the only, I would say, the activities that we are good at. And we don't have natural resources like many countries.
Right. Like India has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see how difficult it is for Singaporeans to survive. So we are dependent a lot on giving out services to those who are in Singapore, and that's where they find us attractive in that way. Okay. But one word, we are actually very safe, a very safe country. Yeah. I mean, people like you and me, we can actually, I have actually come back home like midnight alone, driving sometimes, and no issues at all. We have little crime rate is low. So we are politically stable, financially stable, and a safe country.
Great. That's too good to know about Singapore. And
so I think it's quite important, because some of our members who are thinking of probably if they might like to just come to Singapore and have a look, and they will say, is this safe? Sure, 100% safe. Of course, I cannot vouch a guarantee.
Yes.
Because there are crimes, little crimes everywhere, petty crimes.
Everywhere, in every city, every country.
You don't see people being mugged or and you can leave. Can you imagine? I can leave my handphone on the table at the food court. We call it food court. That's where we have a lot of stalls, and you don't get stolen at all. So you don't, your things don't disappear. So I understand though that in 2024, we have actually like 15.6 US million Indian exports coming through Singapore.
Right.
Yeah, that's a huge amount. The products are mainly plastic, aluminum, cotton, silk, which you all are actually having it. So this is one of the areas which I believe our members can actually explore a little bit more of how they would like to come into this picture.
Right.
So it's huge. The opportunity is huge. So
Right, Archana.
yeah, so
And that is the reason we have started with this AMA session, so that people can be actually aware of. See, reading through the journals, reading through the available data on internet, etc., that is different. But getting the information from an expert, and that too from the country, destination country, is always good. So that is the idea of keeping this AMA session, so that people can know from your experience. They can know from a expert like you. So that is our idea,
well,
right?
okay. So let me tell you a little bit about how uh our members can enter Singapore, because that's very important. Okay.
Yes.
Now, but nonetheless, I must say, Singapore is very strict in compliance.
Okay.
So even if you are thinking of opening a company, incorporating company, we do have, I mean, as iWomen itself, we do a lot of know your customer checks. So that is our first step that we would do in any kind of request from our members.
Yes.
So we do a sort of a background check just to see that this is legitimate, that there is no bad intentions. So
Yes,
we
exactly.
want to weed off the possibility of, as you know that these days there's a lot of fraud, scammers. So we don't
Right.
want, and if our members are legitimate businessmen, they also want to have a safe place where when they transact their business, they don't get into that
Right.
loop. Yeah. So that's the reason why, um, for me, iWomen itself, we are also very careful in who we are partnering and collaborating, because business are everywhere. But
Yes.
yeah, but we need to know who are the
Right. See, background check is always important.
yeah,
And we always just our people, uh, especially when they are starting up with any business or starting up with any business relationship, they must go for a background check. This is very important.
right. Yeah. Okay, so in Singapore, as I said, but nonetheless, our government is very pro-business. So we have a situation where you don't find yourself being into the uh, ending block, because you have people like ourselves, the banks, even the logistic. So it's an ecosystem that is being built for many years. Uh,
Okay.
so in Singapore, so let me highlight what are the kind of corporations that can be entities that can be set up. Okay.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same as in India, but in Singapore we have like, I think there is one that is quite similar. India is called PVT. I think that's called private limited. It's the
Yes.
same, yeah, correct. We have we have private limited, public
Yes.
limited. We also have partnerships, sole proprietors, but of course, sole proprietors partnerships and are not that open to foreigners. So
Right.
yeah, so
Sole
for foreign
proprietorship.
nationals,
Same in India.
I'm the same in India.
Yes.
Private limited is one of the
Right.
entity that is open.
Open. Yes. There they can have the shareholding. Otherwise, proprietorship is not means available to the foreign investors.
Correct. So I think it's almost the same.
The
Uh,
same. Yes.
India is, I would say, Commonwealth. What's
Yes.
really same.
Yes.
Singapore is the same. So we do have the same kind of policies in some way. Yeah.
Right.
So
And we are
the
part of WTO, so most of the regulations are almost same as far as international trade is concerned.
Correct. Yes. I think this is they always find a common ground
Yes.
where, where traders feel that, oh, it's the same. It's just that how do you incentivize them? So
Yes.
that's one of the key point for for any nationals to be in another country setting up their business. So that
Yes.
is, yeah. So for Singapore, when you are talking about private limited, the formation would always be, you can have one foreign national, but you need to have one local director.
Local director.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe that also applies to India.
Yeah, this applies to India also.
Okay, yeah. So so it's the same. And well, our paid up capital is small, but I do not encourage that small. Why? The reason is because we also do banking opening for our clients, and
Right,
a small capital share, the bank looks at a very different perspective. They
right,
will think that you are not serious, you're just here to test a market.
right,
So they recommend that would be like between 5 to 10,000 Sing dollars to have a share capital start. And that is where it will at least give some credibility for
right.
a company that would like to start here. Okay. So of course, there are another two more options that anyone can actually take into consideration. That would be a branch office.
Branch
Uh,
office, yes.
yeah, branch office is good if our members have a business that is existing in India.
Right,
Yeah. And if
right.
they're thinking of having a branch office here,
Branch
they
office,
could do that.
right,
It will be regarded as a foreign entity in
right,
Singapore. Okay. And the last one that I would say it would be a representative office, which will be more applicable, like you, a non-profit organization, but
right.
you can't do any business at all. So
In
it's
representative office,
you cannot,
okay.
you're
This
not
is
able.
different from branch office?
I'm sorry again.
Is this different from branch office? Means having your branch in Singapore and having a representative office there.
They're different.
Both of these are different or same?
Yes, they're different. A branch
Right.
office, you can do business, but you'll be considered as a foreign entity, and you
Okay.
would be charged. The tax would be different rate.
Right. Okay.
Yes, but a rep office is just like AECCI, and you decide says, okay, I would like to have a rep of, but that's only a temporary measure, and
Okay.
it's always like between 1 to 3 years, and you cannot do any commercial
Okay.
business.
Okay. Okay. No commercial activities. Okay.
Yeah. So that is one of the areas that if you are probably maybe you're talking about a club, maybe someone who just wants to promote an association, a club. But
Like a chamber of commerce if you want to promote it there, right?
but I know, I mean, in Singapore, you already have the Indian Chamber of Commerce. So
Yes.
it's duplicating actually
Yeah,
what
okay.
you do. Yeah, they have a trade division here. So I think you are tied with them in some way. So that is it's pointless for you to have a
Right.
present.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So you got any questions for me so far? Would you like to?
No, see, we are going very much in flow. This is what all I want to ask you. And it's good that you are telling us right from your side. This is good. My questions would be same around. I want to know about the compliances, about the, as you have already told, market interest rates and the tax compliances structure, all that I want to know from you. So this is very good. We are going in flow and you can please carry on.
Okay, good. So let me touch a little bit about how a trader can do some marketing testing with a soft launch. Okay, I
Okay.
think that would help them a little bit to assess and see if they would really like to come in and how they would like to do it. Okay,
Yes.
so uh, definitely Singapore is actually the best country for you. We are actually a city state because we're so small.
Yes.
But for you to launch, we are going to be the launching pad for you to get into ASEAN. Now, I believe India know that ASEAN makes up of so many countries around us,
Yes. Right.
and those populations are actually growing. uh, Only Singapore we can't grow that much because first we are so small, and
Right.
secondly, it's our people are quite. I would say some of us are onto the aspect of they would like to branch out of Singapore. So many some they leave Singapore, and that's the reason why we are quite yeah why we are quite welcoming of the foreign nationals into Singapore. Not Some of them come in as an employment pass holder. Employment pass holder means they are here for a business and they applying to stay in Singapore for a while based on the work
Right. Work
thing.
visa, you can say.
Yes, correct. So, okay, so like I said, Singapore being a maritime and air and also a financial hub, you can, if a trader would like to start off, they can actually do, if they are having some products which they think it is viable, and they can actually do a B2B kind of platform.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we do have quite a number of platforms here in Singapore, things like Lazada. It's similar to I think in India you have one that is can you remind me what you have in India for your
See,
e-commerce?
e-commerce is a part of our foreign trade policy. Apart there, every trade body, like we, this particular program, this is being organized under our virtual B2B platform. So every organization is having their own. We are having our own virtual B2B platform. And let me tell you, under this, we have signed the cooperation agreement with trade and legal experts from 40 countries. Now we have reached 243 countries, in fact. So this is the virtual B2B platform. So
Ah,
every trade body is having some or other kind of arrangements for the B2B.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, this is more like a business B2B. What
Yes.
I'm trying to say is that we do have B2B where you can actually sell to the consumers.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you can actually, if you're having some products which you feel that because some of the costs the production cost is pretty low, so you have a possibility to sell in not just in Singapore but in other countries. You can actually look into trying to start a B2B platform, e-commerce, where you can buy and sell in
Right.
the local arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So there are some platforms here in Singapore which already are working pretty well.
Right, right, right. In India also, there are many such platforms by the government of India and by the private institutions also. There are many such platforms
Mm.
at national and international levels, both.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So another possibility that they would like to consider is trade fairs. Now we
Great.
have many small trade fairs in Singapore, and if for instance, recently there are China is very aggressive. So we do have some Chinese provinces that's here for trade fairs.
Okay.
So maybe that could be another consideration too. Yeah.
Yes.
Or another possibility would be they can actually partners with some distributors.
Yes. That is very important, in fact.
Yeah. So,
Right.
but of course, distributors would probably need to do some arrangement and to look into the aspect of how reliable it could be and to set up. So all this, when you talk into looking at this area, uh, you cannot escape the fact that you need to have a bank account
Yes.
with a proper trade facility arrangement. So that cannot as you cannot escape, because otherwise you will not be able to facilitate the transfer of payments and all that.
Payments and
So
all.
it comes hand in hand. That's how we
Right,
all.
right, right. And iWomen, as they are specialized in this, so we'll discuss this in detail. Before that, I would like to know one thing more. Can iWomen be of help in finding the distributors or in signing the distributor agreements for our exporters? Because most of them come up with such this inquiry. They want to have direct buyers. If no direct buyers, they want to go for the distributor kind of arrangement. So, iWomen, can you be of any help on this particular thing for our exporter members?
Yeah, actually, I do have that service, which of
Okay.
course is with a fee that we're talking about.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, so I do give advisory consultations for companies who
Yes.
would like to come on board,
Right.
and also perhaps also if, but in this particular field, you actually need to you need to have some network where you can actually do some recommendation and all that. So we actually are also doing some areas that we like to expand. because this is what you say, helping the business in the whole ecosystem. It's
Right.
pointless to just bring a company and form them, get them to do a banking, and they can't trade or they can't find people. Just like myself, that I reach out to you people, it's the same. So
Right.
everywhere it's about the same. So yeah, just let me know uh, what would be required, and then
Okay.
I can actually give you a sort of an idea of how we can work and I can table my fees that is
Yes.
suitable for
Yes.
for your members.
Right. Let me tell you, this virtual B2B form that we have created, this has been created in such a manner that after signing the drafted agreement, you can have your account there, your digital account on our website, right? People today who would be watching this session, or even after today, this will be available on our social media platforms. So they can just watch this particular session, and whosoever would be interested in taking your services, they can book an appointment with you through our website. They
Oh
can
yes.
directly reach to you, and this would be going to be between you and the Indian community, means Indian trade. So
Oh, that's
directly
fine.
you can have the conversation, directly you can discuss about your term of services, and they can seek what kind of services they want to
Mm.
seek from you. They can discuss about that. So this is going to be a private conversation between you both. Only that our
Facility.
preference would be to facilitate the trade. Either this is export or import, whatever it is, right? So we
Mhm.
just want to have them a trusted contact. They can directly reach to you
Mm.
whenever they want to do trade with Singapore or Asian countries. So they can reach directly to you. That is our idea. And so all your services, your profile is visible on our virtual platform. They can see from there, from this session also, they can have the idea. And in your first meeting with the Indian client, you both can exchange your business cards. You can exchange your terms of services. And in future, this is going to be a direct dealing between you
Okay,
and them.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's very good. I think
yeah,
your organization is a sort of a beacon to
yes,
help, yeah, to help your members in
correct,
some way to open up and have interaction, because
correct.
it's not simple and easy that you can actually find anyone. Yes, anyone can just go to a country and says, I like to buy this, I like to buy that, but
Yes,
how are you
yes,
gonna start it? That's another issue. Um,
right.
yeah. Yes. So I do have a capacity for members who would like to look into the aspect of trying to get some distributors, and we could give some recommendations and all that, and
Great.
they can approach me directly. Of course, they know how to get in touch with me through the
Right.
portal. Yeah,
Right.
very good. Okay.
Great.
So
Great.
now, in Singapore, okay, let me continue a little bit about
Yeah,
how
sure.
when you establish a business in Singapore,
Right.
we, as in a very pro business environment, we do not have restrictions on many sectors of business. So,
Okay.
of course, apart from military arms,
Okay.
weapons, drugs,
Right.
anything that is normal, the normal day to day is acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can come, you can actually those who are members who are interested, just write to me and says that I'm interested, and this is my business or this is my intention, then we can actually look into it.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
And the tax incentive for Singapore is good. We are like 17% as
Mhm.
compared to India. India, I think, is about 23 to 25%.
Yes,
So
20. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, pretty high.
India is
So
considered to be highly tax country.
yeah, so that is the benefit of us being very lean and agile. So
Okay.
and because of our, I'm proud to say that because of our stability, political stability,
Yes.
you can never face riots. You can strikes. We don't have that at all. Our trade union is very strict. We have a lot of what you say negotiation between the employer and the employee. So we don't have such things that's happening for the last 50 years. So anyone who is in Singapore, having a business in Singapore, they are very assured that their investment will be protected.
Okay, great.
So that's one great thing about us here in Singapore, because I do understand that some countries you have riots, you have strikes, and US is quite
Yes.
common.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of disruption in the business then.
Right. Great.
Of
So,
course, Singapore being a member of ASEAN, when you are a Singapore company, you get to leverage on the ASEAN FTAs.
right.
So that's quite important, because that's where you actually sort of, I would say, that increase your profits in some way. You're cutting down a lot of costs then. Okay, so I know that in Singapore, basically there are probably about 7,000 to 10,000 Indian companies existing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think one of them might maybe Tata Group and, Flick Art. So they are using Singapore as their regional HQ.
Okay.
But they use Singapore to actually penetrate within this region.
Right.
So now you have the region itself is thriving. So as if you hear some of the articles, or you read some articles, you will always know that ASEAN is a thriving area, a continent. I mean, I can't say it's continent, but it is something that is a region that is thriving. We don't have wars, as you know
Yes.
now. There are a lot of war conflict going around.
Yes, everywhere.
Yeah,
Even
so
in
it's
India.
very unsettling. India, yeah, it's also having some little tiff here and there.
Yes.
So businesses doesn't like this such things. They are here just to make their profits and grow. Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't in ASEAN, we don't. We have a lot of differences. ASEAN itself has got many languages, traditions. We even have lots of I would say policies, but
Yes.
we were able to negotiate with each other. Yeah.
Right.
Now, by Singapore standard, our GDP growth went up by 4.4% in 2024. But of course, this year is going to be bad. I would add probably 2-3%, because it's, I would say, global. Everyone is
It's
suffering.
global, everywhere. And after today, I think it is going to be more, means whatever is going on right now between two countries, three countries. So it's going to be more
Well,
harmful for
yes,
the global
yes,
economy.
it will. It will definitely be worse. Business will suffer, but it's only, I would say, it will be good for those who see opportunity in a different light, because there's
Right.
opportunity. And of course, it's also based down on how resilient and how can you be perseverance into that area. So if you
Right.
persevere, maybe next few years it might be better. So
Yes, it is.
it might be a bit difficult, but that's where people say you start when it's difficult. That's where you get a sort of like a foothold on it, and you can propel when the things goes up.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
highlight,
Yeah.
just to highlight, in Singapore, in the banking sector. Okay,
Yes.
so now I'm moving into the banking where you know. Now we
Right.
have like about 132 banks in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, and 119 banks are foreign banks.
Okay.
So Indian bank is one of those two. Okay, they're pretty.
Right.
There are many Indian banks in Singapore too. So
Yes.
there's a reason why the banking sector in Singapore is one of the stronghold with the financial, where because we do a lot of foreign exchange. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why we find that to be able to have a company and to be opening a bank account, and that's where it works. The only hiccup would be when a bank will refuse to open an account for the
Yes.
new client if they find, because they do their world check, and if they find that it's not credible.
Okay.
So for IWomen perspective is we will do the necessary bridge and help assist. However, we cannot be the one that will give a go ahead. We can
Yes.
approve. Yeah,
Okay. But
we are
you
not
can
the
at least guide how to take go ahead.
Yes, that's important because the first step is the journey. We always try to give that user journey a smooth and efficient one. So
Yes.
it doesn't sort of uh boils down to the fact that it's such a messy and difficult, and some people just they give up halfway. So we
Yes.
don't want
Yes.
we don't want to come to that stage. So that's the
Right.
reason why we exist, uh, uh to help to support our clients, and our present clients that we have, they are quite pleased with what we've done so
Yes,
far.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
so
And
we
that is the reason we are introducing you to our people. See, it is very difficult while sitting here and getting your business successfully run in other country. This is very difficult. And that time the role of the experts like you comes into the picture. People can take your help. So that's why we are introducing you to our people. So that, instead of going through a very lengthy and complicated process, they can simply go to you, they can simply approach you and take your expert advice, take your expert services. That is our idea.
Mhm. Yeah, I would think that it's also the same for here. And if we have somebody who is looking into going to India,
Yes,
definitely I will come back to you and say that, do you have somewhere some of your members who are very versed in that? Yeah.
right, right,
So it's a
right.
vice, it's just like a two-way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. We are here for the same purpose. International trade we have to promote by anyhow. So this can be the import or the investment, outgoing, incoming. So this is
Yeah.
our basic duty.
Correct. So another point I would like to also highlight is that um, Singapore has recently signed a ASEAN itself has signed a FTA with China. So
Yes.
that's very interesting
Okay.
because with that, you can leverage a Singapore company, you can actually leverage onto this area where you get some tariff reductions and all that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Means the Indian people who are Indian businesses which are already in Singapore, they can also be benefited by this FTA with China.
As long as you are a Singapore company,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So what it means is that it's not, I'm not talking about foreign entity where I just
Right.
spoke earlier. So it's like if your members are interested and they says, I already have a business now, so I may be selling, I don't know, maybe chemicals, example, just
Right.
as an example, and they says that I would like to try and penetrate ASEAN and maybe China.
Mhm.
Uh, so the thing is that they could come to Singapore, set up a Singapore company.
Right.
That's why I'm trying to say that only
Right.
Singapore company, because Singapore is part of ASEAN, not India. India is not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how you want to, if you want to benefit into the aspect of tariff reduction to help
Right.
you, you actually need to set up into a particular country.
Country. That is a part of ASEAN.
Yeah,
Right.
it's part of the eco
Right.
business ecosystem. So if I like to enjoy some privileges as a Indian company, I should go to India and set up.
Yes. Yes.
Example,
Exactly.
iWoman. Okay,
Right.
that's the the real thing is reality. You see. You cannot be saying that just because I am from India, I want to enjoy something that is of ASEAN, but
That
but
is.
Singapore has got some I would say that we have a Sika. If you know about Sika, I believe you know about Sika. That is something that is to do with a trade agreement benefits that we have for Indian traders with Singapore.
This
So
is
it's
Sika.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's something that can benefit a lot of the traders who would like to be in Singapore. So you get there's quite a number of trade agreements that you can enjoy the privileges.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So. Fine. I think people would be having a see. Again, I would say if they know that there are some FTAs existing between India and Singapore, they can simply check on the MEA website also.
Correct. Yes,
This is available on
yes,
Ministry of
yes, yes.
External
This
Affairs
is
website, so they
correct.
can take the details from there. All the FTAs which ever we are having with any country, and right now particularly we are speaking about Singapore, so you can go on MEA website and see the FTAs that we have signed
Yeah.
already.
This is an open knowledge, which
Yes,
I'm sharing. But not
yes.
everybody knows about it. There is such
Right,
thing.
right. And this will at least motivate them to check the details.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
So if they want to know more, they can actually just Google and they will be able to get all the
all
necessary
the right.
information.
Yes,
And SICA means Comprehensive Economic
yes.
Cooperation Agreement. So
Right. This is comprehensive treaty. That by
yeah,
that name it is famous here.
correct.
Comprehensive treaty.
Yeah.
Yes,
So they would be actually they're enjoying a lot. They would get
yes,
from zero tariffs.
yes.
There's many benefits that they can do. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. So as I said about the okay, maybe I should just bring back again. Now I've talked about how it is with the trade. Let me bring it back because I have to bring back banking into the picture because it will relate to trade finance.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you talk about opening a bank accounts, of course, we have the three top bank accounts holder, which everybody knows, DBS, UOB, and OCBC. Yeah,
Right.
that's without a doubt. However, uh, we women do have relationship with them, but I must add that it's a little bit more difficult for a new startup companies to open account with them until they are proven. So um, I'm not trying to discourage our
Right.
members, but members who are already having a business operations in Singapore, in India, it'll be slightly easier.
Yes.
But those who are just thinking of trying to start, we do have
Okay.
smaller banks relationship, which we can help to open. And generally, it's kind of, I would say, it's not too difficult.
Right.
So yeah, so I have clients who I open for them in places like example CIMB, just to mention some, HL Bank, Maybank. So these are the smaller banks, and they can because they are just as keen to open bank accounts as possible.
Right.
Okay,
Ah,
now how the worst thing is they have a company and they cannot open a bank account. When I say bank account, it means our traditional banking. Uh, so it's then they will say that it's going to be difficult. Why do I have to come here? And so the other alternative would be the digital banks. So they can start off with normally I have clients who are being not able to open for a period, maybe like 6 months only,
okay.
because they have nothing to prove. So they will go for the digital banking, do all the transactions, and use that as a supporting for me to leverage them. So that's how iWomen works. So
Okay.
we actually hold the hand of all our clients to ensure that they are successful. So that's how we work.
And to open this account, do the business owner need to be present there physically?
Yeah. For the three top banks that I mentioned earlier, you need to be there.
You
The
need.
smaller banks, no, because we are working very closely with them, so you can do remotely. So I can do like that, Zoom
Okay.
with, yeah. And so the bank we will make arrangement
Okay.
with me present to have the account, and then we become the party, the liaison, to be
Okay.
helping them with all the documents to get it done and get it open. Okay, so that's how iWomen works.
Great, great. That's too good to know all about. And one more question that I would like to know, is there any financial support or incentives available to the foreign businesses
Yeah,
operating in Singapore? That I would like to know by the
yeah. So
Singapore
that is my
government.
next point that I'm coming into
Yeah.
funding and grants.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
please.
So obviously, if you are a Singapore company, our Singapore government encourages a lot of overseas selling expansion. So if you are looking at trying to first, but you must have a foothold here,
Okay.
build a little bit. You can't expect things to happen almost immediately. So you got to be on a step-by-step basis.
Okay.
Have your presence here, have a little bit of business transaction, and then you will look into trying to make an application for funding. So it's not that it's not available, it is. So
Okay.
even though you may be with a foreign national director, as long you are a Singapore entity,
Yes.
are eligible to apply.
Okay. This is good.
Yeah, so there are. And it would be like almost 70% of what
Okay.
yeah, it's very good. The funding is very good. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, and also there are VCs here, there are VCs like Vertex, Ventures that are actively investing in Indian startup.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can look at the government, you can also look at the private VCs who will be
Okay.
able to assist them.
These are private VC. Can
VCs
you
are
please?
private,
Okay.
private. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So they
Yeah.
can help, take the
Yeah.
help from the government and from the private
Yeah.
institutions
So,
also.
the role that IWomen will play would be in the advisory role to assist the companies to help them to make the application for the funding with Singapore government with the respective departments, and also maybe to help them to see if we can network with these VCs. So this is what we also try to see if we can contribute in this particular role.
This is very important, in fact.
Yeah. So, okay. And I think there is a question about indenting agents.
Right. That is, again,
Yeah,
this is sort of, you can say, landing agents or distributors. Both are important. Distributors we have already discussed. Now, intending agent is very important to know
correct.
about.
Yeah. So, intending agents in Singapore works like this. We have a big conglomerate, and they are called Fair Price, which is government owned.
Right.
So they actually are the body that buys a lot of FMCG products, meaning it can be anything that is household, anything that's personal use,
Yes.
or even they also deal with TVs, with
Electronics also.
electrical goods and all that.
Hmm.
So this body actually buys quite a lot, and
Okay.
you can actually be approaching them, but sometimes government bodies are a little bit more difficult in some sense because they
Yes.
have to go through a little bit of red tape.
Right.
Yeah,
They
but
have a standard procedure to follow, internal
correct.
process, right?
Yeah, have you heard of Lazada?
No.
Okay, so Lazada is a private, and they buys a lot too, and they are actually also a private agent that they have a portal where they will actually be helping the
Okay.
traders to I would say sell their products as an agent. So but I'm not okay for this area. I must admit I'm not that familiar, but nonetheless I can still help to connect.
Right. Right. And this Lazada, is this government body or the private body?
It's a private body. It's not
It's a
public.
private. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, of course, in Singapore, we also have the other one that's called Enterprise Singapore, which is a Singapore government uh,
Okay.
initiative, and they do matches of local buyers with foreign firms. So this is also another area that
So, Miss Ping, are you in touch with this Enterprise Singapore, the government body that you are telling?
yeah, the Enterprise Singapore is something is a body that as a Singapore firm myself, I can actually approach them and say that I have this group of people that are interested, and how can we work on trying to match them?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's a matter of getting into the connection part.
Right.
And iWomen actually participate in quite a fair bit of, I would say, with the Singapore Chamber. We have a lot of different kind of chamber, like the Malay. This is what you call the ethnic group. So we have the Malay, we have the Chinese, group. And so these are businessmen who are, I would say it's a body just like yourself, and they actually works quite closely with the government. So this is how IWomen, we actually are member of this few association in the chamber. So this is what you call the connection, and see how we can work along.
Right, right. And in future, we can plan some delegation also. Between India and Singapore, we can plan a group delegation where we can bring our people, the importer, exporters, and your people can also join hands there. So I think we can propose such meetings with the help of iWomen.
Correct. Yeah, but I think this one would be it has to be, I would say, yeah, planning is quite a lot, and we will need to work how the
Yes,
details.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It will take time, but in future we can consider
Yeah,
this.
yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
yes, yes.
And so I would say that basically, if in the our members are interested in any form of support, they could actually just come to us, and we will do our best as much as we can. And some of the services that we offer is usually a one-stop comprehensive, but there are ad hoc services that we if we can do, we will do. And because of the fact that we are more into the area of trade financing and all that, we also offer one thing is that what we call trade finance management. Meaning, what does it mean? It means that if you have a member who is uh, importing or exporting, and they have got some documentations that they would like to present to the
Right.
banks, we can do that. We can help them to do that. So they don't have
Okay.
all they need to do is to authorize us as their liaison, and we also do on a retainer basis, so we can do
Yes.
that for them too.
Great, great. This is
Yeah,
good.
because I believe this is part of the business export import, which your members are interested. So it's not something that we're talking about admin work where you just type in. That is, it's a different thing. It's quite specialized field,
Yes.
and for iWomen itself, we do have team members who are proficient in this area, because
Great.
they look into the aspect, and they work closely with the bank too.
Very good. That's very nice to know about.
Yeah. So
And yes.
I would say that at this moment, this is about most that I can share. Unless there are more questions coming from the members in future, I would
Yes.
actually expand it.
And no, Miss Ming, thank you so much. This was incredibly insightful session, and all the points that we wanted to cover are covered by you. And I'm sure people would be enjoying this session. They would be benefited with this session, and they will be encouraged to get in touch with you. That is the sole idea. See, when we enter into a foreign market by any means, direct or indirect, there are so many hustles, so many hurdles that we face.
Mm.
So when we have some expert in our connection, of course, by taking the paid services, but they can simply reach to you and take the help of your expertise. So that is the reason of signing up these 45 collaborations and inviting the experts from different countries and tell us about their work culture, their business culture. The sole idea is to encourage the people, encourage the trade community to take the services of the experts so that all the troubles can be avoided.
Yeah.
The hurdles, business hurdles, all that can be avoided. And this was a very fruitful session, and you have covered each and every aspect. I'm sure people will have now good idea about the Singapore
Mm.
and the Asian market. And of course, this is an encouragement to them to work, to go to Singapore so that they can reach to the benefits of the Asian countries also.
Sure.
So
I
for
welcome
that matter, yeah.
inquiries. Just drop me an email, or go through the portal and put me inquiry. We will come. We will definitely be
Yes, yes.
answering.
I would like to tell the people who are watching right now or would be watching later on, you can simply go to our website. You can see the profile of Miss Ming there, and iWomen profile is also available there. You can just go through that. If you want to book a meeting with them, you can simply through the website, through the virtual B2B platform, you can book a meeting with them. You can directly get in touch them. By this first meeting, you can exchange your business card, your terms of services, your financial obligation, everything you can discuss with them in detail. And it is always advisable to take the help of an expert instead of going blindly. So we would highly recommend Miss Ming from iWomen, take her help. And thank you, ma'am, on behalf of AECCI management, on behalf of the trade community, for this insightful session, for this very knowledgeable session. We have thoroughly enjoyed, and of course, I'm sure people would benefited by this.
Thank you, Swarn. I'm glad to be here also, and have a good day. And
Thank
you
you so
can.
much. You too. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.